lovely city, especially the area that we look all the time passing us on the right hand side. These houses, these buildings here are privately owned, and it's even more beautiful because it's less crowded. And during summertime, which in Europe starts towards the end of June and slowly fades away towards the first half of September. This is the time when this part of the lake is full, crowded, and you can imagine that this lake enacts as the sea to many of the Swiss people, due to the fact that Switzerland is a locked-in country, so it has no connection whatsoever to the outside world. When we speak, of course, of water or the mass that would surround a country if it were close to the sea. So Switzerland has no open access. That's why the lakes are so important, because they actually, in the summertime, make around 30% of the income from tourism here in Switzerland. So it's a very important thing. And it's not the only country in Europe that has the same problems. The neighboring one or two notches higher than Switzerland, because Austria makes from any kind of water tourism in the summer months about 40% of the income from tourism throughout the year. So it really uses all the potential given. So in Austria, not only the lakes but also the rivers will enlarge the water levels and enlarge the water area for any kind of sports activities. The Austrians have made 4 such dams just for the purpose, and now because of the spring melting of the ice, the water pours in those lakes even faster, and they have actually discovered that there's a lot of water, and they have installed as big as 2 trucks. But still, it takes only 48 hours to change locations and put them somewhere else. But there has to be a pre-installed docking station, which would put it mildly, which would then suit as the area where this generator would produce electricity. So they've come up with the calculations that 2 such generators throughout the season, that's mainly when the snow starts melting, around April, May, and again in the rainy season, which is around October, they can produce as much electricity to fuel constantly 2 small villages with up to 5,000 inhabitants, which is quite an achievement if we speak of a semi-renewable source of getting the energy. But nevertheless, it's the path to do it. So it might cost more, but in the end result is much more satisfying than the theory might show it. So we are straight almost in the city center, or let's say the closest part of the city where it still touches the lake. From here, there are many boats that pass towards the other side of the lake in a form of a sightseeing tour, or you can have a lake bus, which is actually the same thing as a bus on the streets, but this one connects the stations at the lake. So it goes 4 times zigzag across the lake and finishes the far outer part, and then connects the ports again in the opposite direction. So it's very well organized. It's a walking distance from the city center, and you can have a lovely afternoon or a whole day trip just outside the city without using your car maybe take your bicycle with you or anything in that manner. Where you see this giant Ferris wheel, this is where our bus will drop us off. So this is the only possibility of a pickup and a drop-off location. Remember that in the same place we will also be picked up. So if something happens that you don't get to see where parts of your group have gone, you know that at the end we will be picked up by the bus exactly where we will be dropped off right now. Okay, so I'm kindly asking you to slowly get ready so we can continue and we can start with a leisure walk through the city center to see one of the most iconic parts of the proceeds to the other side of the city for an earlier dinner. So we have arranged for day.
Ganda na trench coat ng babae.
Oo nga, no? Ang haba.
Kasi siya.
Alright, this is us.
I mean, maybe the city itself is, parang merong malalim na something dito. Aside from the lake, aside from everything.
Kasi sabi nito kibag as buto. Uy, maganda dito. Dito maganda dito. Doon sa peso nila.
Dok, picture na namin ngayon, Dok.
Kulay brown yung dress ko eh. Boots ako.
Naka-high heels si Yuseri. Di ba nakadress siya, no?
Wala naman kasi sa top.
Ang layo. Doon daw niya tayo bukas. Souvenir shop.
Dilim ng ano ko. So nice. Ang ganda dito.
Tayo sa train. Sa ruta ng train.
architecture. We call it the Tudor style. So that's the style of which a certain building with this zigzag design was created. Usually when kids start drawing a castle, they go like this for a defensive wall. That's the Tudor style of castle. So in the same way, but a little bit more artistically.
Mag-snow?
Sabi nga ni Beth, di ba? Pag daw nag-snow. Sa Mount Titlis nga, may snow eh.
Ano, no? Saan?
Hmm. Ano yan?
Nakita ko dun.